Now, there's three reasons why I bet you got ghosted, and I bet you out of one of the three things I'm going to say are the reason why. And if I'm right, please let me know down below if this is true and if you feel like you did this exact mistake. If not, let me know what you guys did, and I can see if I can make a video about it. But without further ado, let me get into it. If you guys are currently going on Snapchat and texting someone that you have a crush on or trying to go on a date with, you need to do these three things that are going to guarantee you that you're not going to fuck it up. And again, I don't use Snap or anything, but I know nowadays everything's based off a dating app. I made a video about that shit, how it's like horrible. But again, if you just got to know someone, you met them in person, and you were trying to text them now, this is what I'm going to say. These three things are in my opinion, and I think that are going to either save you or probably the reason why you fucked up. The first thing that I did that was a mistake that basically kills their whole vibe is being needy. And what I mean by that is answering the minute that you see, or sorry, this second that you see that text or snap. And the reason why that kills all your momentum is that it shows them that you're way too desperate to get an answer out of them. And desperation just shows that you don't really do anything. You're too desperate. And they want someone that's a genuine busy guy that has something to look forward to other than just their text. Obviously, they want you to text them all the time, but realistically, you setting yourself up for a standard and a limit to not always just text right away builds you so much respect, because at that point, if you're texting them right away and they're taking 10 to 20 to 30 minutes to respond to you, you're already putting them on a pedestal. And because you're putting them on a pedestal, that makes you weak. And women don't like weak men. It sounds toxic in a sense, but it's realistic. You can't be needy because that's their job. They're the ones that usually get needy with guys. They're the ones that would text you right away. They're the ones that call you all the time. All you gotta do is text within a certain amount of time. If she texts you in 10 minutes, text her in 15. If she texts you in 20, 25 to 30. Again, this is more of my opinion and my advice on this. Again, you need to be busy. You can't answer right away. Agree to disagree. The second thing is, don't do just texting. And what I mean is, actually, don't even text at all. And what I mean by that is, set dates up. Use texting for dates. Because if you're talking on texts for, let's just say, 3 hours, you just added them and you're just having a conversation, she's telling you already about her entire life, and you are too. When you go into person, you have nothing to talk about. What are you going to talk about? You already established that on text. And text, you don't get that emotion. You just get the words. So that's the thing. You're not getting that emotional thing. You don't know how she's explaining you her family history. What if she genuinely wants to tell you about it, and because the way she texts is pretty dry, you're assuming she's not into you, so then you just start ghosting her, being like, she's not into me. Or if she's texting you, and then it just seems like she's not into it, but she is, it's just because how she texts. And that's the thing, we're making a lot of assumptions when it comes to text, and I do that too. Like, sometimes how people word things, it's either I think that they had an attitude giving it to me, or they meant it in a provocative and shitty way. Or sometimes people say something and they're pissed, but I think they're fine. You don't know. And that's the thing, when you're getting to know someone, it's all about the emotions and how you feel connected. If you're texting, all you're seeing is a fucking paragraph and just words that doesn't build anything up. So please do not text as much. I've done it, and I didn't even get the chance to get to know someone in person, and it was horrible. I didn't know what to talk about. Like, if you're a great talker, then that's good for you. But either way, and I'm gonna add a bonus thing, so it's gonna be four reasons. But when you're on that date, don't just talk about yourself. And the reason why I say that is because women love talking about themselves, okay? The whole thing of them being like, all they do is talk, 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 it's not like unrealistic. That is kind of true in a sense of, like, they do like talking. They talk a lot. And because they like talking a lot, it gets them to talk about themselves. And because they're doing that, it feels like you're really listening to them. And so you're not just talking about yourself and making it about me, 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 me. Except they like talking about themselves, because they're listening, and you as a guy, you're supposed to be the listener. And if you can't be a good listener, and you're just a talker, then you're basically doing their job of the relationship, because that's what they do. And again, this is my opinion. Agree to disagree, but most of the time I think that a guy should do, you know 30 to 20% of the talking on a date. And I mean, don't be like silent the entire time, or don't be silent at all. Talk, but be the person that asks the questions. Ask them things and then let them answer, and then go off of that. Oh, great, you're from Colombia? Great. Like, where is your dad? Is both your parents from? Shit like that. You're basic. You can go based off of what you're doing, and then you're asking them the questions, and then boom, they feel like you care because you're asking all those questions. So please, don't do all the talking. And the last thing is, don't rush into things. And I know I made a video about it, but what I mean by that is, because you're texting them, let's just say you're texting them quite often, your assumption of like, oh, like we already have an emotional stage built because we got to know each other on text. You don't know that. You don't know how she's feeling about you. You're not meeting her up in person. So already you'll probably assume that, hey, let's start dating, or let's do this or do that. Don't talk about dating on text. That's going to turn them off immediately. You're not ready for that moment. The only time you'll be ready to have that conversation is when you get to know this person, and that's about it. Because you're not giving them the chance to hear you speak, and because there's no emotion in when you're speaking to them on text, they're like, it's just a complete turn off. So please, guys, don't rush into things on text. Don't answer immediately. Give it some time to serenade. And also, please don't just talk about yourself, and don't just talk on text. Meet up in person. So that's all I have to say today. And again, if you guys don't really agree, then please let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys actually have any suggestions on what I could have talked about, or for future videos, please let me know. I'm willing to make a video about it. And please, guys, let's have conversations down in the chats or in the comments. We've been doing that. You guys have been telling me your stories, and I appreciate that so much for you guys doing that. Don't feel bad for sending paragraphs. Don't feel the need that you're yapping too much. I think that it's really good that we're all interacting, because we get to experience and give each other advice. So please, guys, please leave it down below. But anyways, that's enough me rambling. I've been Fellow. Stay smart.